some good upside, Loonie-D.
Yeah, I like the Canadian dollar. I mean, I think as there's good central bank interest to buy Canadian dollars, I'm told, above 104. We're about 103.50 as we're coming on air. And I kind of like the fundamental story. I think the market's throwing the baby out with the bathwater with regards to what's happening south of the border in North America. And I just think the Canadian story overall looks quite good. I wouldn't be surprised to see dollar Canada moving back towards parity over the next couple of months.
Polos, who took over from Carney. It seems to me there's been a little bit of disagreement over exactly what he wants. Some felt he didn't want a stronger dollar. Now they're feeling, I know you feel now that maybe he's signalling he does want a stronger Canadian dollar. Where do we stand? I'm
looking at the two comments. Mr. Pelosi came in from an export background. You'd associate that with wanting a weak Canadian dollar.
Yeah.
But his most recent public statement, he emphasised that the key battle for the Canadian Central Bank is inflation, and quote, if the dollar's a bit too strong at a time, it's not going to really be a factor. I like the macro picture in Canada. We have all the natural gas, we have the shale oil, we now have the biggest offshore oil find on Canada's Atlantic side since 2010, and we have Malaysia in the form of Petronas looking to invest $35 billion in Canada, admittedly over 10 to 15 years, to develop the assets, liquefied natural gas on the Pacific side of Canada.
When are they expected to raise rates? Most are saying the end of next year, right?
I think it would be, but the point is it's the direction of travel, isn't it? It's like everything else. If you start to feel that they're going to bring it forward a little bit, and it does look as if Canadian housing starts picking up, maybe the Bank of Canada starts to get a bit worried again about the amount of debt that's being carried by the Canadian householder. If you start to bring it forward a little bit, it's not too much of a leap of faith, given the macro story in Canada, for the Canadian dollars to start firming up and going back towards 1-to-1.
When do we get to parity?
I think it's going to come in a few months, because I think it's a trade that the market's looking for a trade. And dollar Canada is a bit like a super tanker. She moves in a direction, she goes quite steadily. She doesn't go leaping around. It's not an enormous amount of volatility generally over a period of years. It's the kind of trade people might want to get on in the run-up to Christmas, where they're looking for a few points, a few percentage to add to their alpha. And I think, if you want North America at the moment, you've got issues in the States. You've had issues in Mexico, so the emerging markets. The Canadian dollar has, from my perspective, a compelling story behind it. And also, if you look at the COFER data, central banks have been building up Canadian dollar reserves. What's not to like about it?